And hello, Gemini. Gemini, thank you so much for clicking here. I do appreciate you. Gemini, I'm here with some oracle cards. We are going to use this for the overall energy for the week ahead, and then we are going to throw some tarot at it to get some details about the week ahead. Gemini, if you've been here before, if you are my ride or die, if you're the person who has the placement and you're always here watching, or you're watching for a cross watcher, you'll know that I always read for the week ahead. Whether you get that today, tomorrow, or next year, or for those of you who are here real time, I am reading for the second week of December. And it's not expected to resonate right now because it is a general read. If you are brand new and you're not the ride or die just yet, welcome here to all these shenanigans. I hope you'll stay. This tribe is growing so fast, and I'm grateful for it because we need all of the smarty pantses here, these air signs, right? It's not to say that every other sign isn't smart, but we know, if you know the collective, you know that the air signs are the decision makers, the ones who say things, the freedom fighters, right? Tell me more. Oh, that could be a fire sign too. I do see Gemini as the freedom fighter. Let's find out what's going on for Gemini in the week ahead. Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, and Jupiter. We have freedom. I love when stuff works out like that. So we have freedom. I was just talking about freedom fighters, right? And we do have blue, which indicates air, right? We have, it says here, I possess the power and the free will to create my own happiness. So you're not dependent on anybody about how happy you are. You've made a choice. You're the one that knows that making choices and thoughts become things. I can choose to be happy regardless of my circumstance. It can be a choice. We've got pride. It says, I love myself and I see myself in everyone. And so pride can be something that stops you from things, but I feel like the way that they're explaining it here is they're explaining it, the explanation they give is actually the opposite of pride. It says, I love myself. And so you can have pride in the way you look and the way you feel, but it says, I see myself in everyone. So I want to say that the pride that you feel, the reason that you feel it is because other people are projecting that onto you. Like everybody that we meet projects something onto us, a feeling, a situation, everyone projects something. And I feel like because you have pride in yourself, that's what you're projecting on other people. You're teaching them how to love themselves and how to see themselves in all other people. Whoo, it's getting deep already. What the heck? All right, tell me more about Gemini, please. Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, and Jupiter. I feel like with this freedom card here, I'm looking at lavender, I'm looking at violet purple. And so it tells me that your third eye has been opening, slowly opening. A little bit over time it's opened. And it feels like with this freedom energy here, it feels like you now feel the freedom to talk about the things that you see through the third eye, the clarity that you have. And I feel like part of that clarity is that you really do love yourself, and I kind of love that for you. Tell me more about Gemini. We have a desert passage. Trust there's a divine plan. So you have the freedom to be happy. And for some of you, the thing is sometimes it's not easy to be happy, right, Gemini? I mean, there can be things that are going on around you that are really hard to deal with, whether that's family or friends or a job or the economy or whatever it is, financial things. But it says here to trust that the divine does have a plan for you, even though that sometimes the passage can be narrow or arid or dry or like the desert passage, right? It's a place where it can be kind of dangerous because you better make sure you're prepared to go into the desert or wander through the wilderness here. So trust that there is a divine path, that whatever path you're on is the one that you're supposed to be on. It says here, answering the call, the time is now. Very interesting. So I feel like the universe is in the face of a Gemini right now saying, look, the time is now for you to be happy. This is the divine plan. The time is now for you to be happy. You could be in a place where you're being tested like crazy right now. But I feel like the time is now for you to walk through the door and answer the call to make yourself happy, to create your own happiness, whatever that brand of happiness is for you, Gemini. All right. Let's get through these and then we'll get to some tarot. Let's find out what else is going on for Gemini, please. Tell me more about Gemini. Just one more, please. There we go. All right. We've got recognition, admiration for your hard work is coming. So someone's going to recognize this energy within you, that you've chosen to be happy regardless of maybe some of the trials you've been going through lately. And it says here, failure to accept a situation, unhealthy cycles, and addictions. I feel like for somebody here, the recognition is about denial, that maybe when the third eye opens, it's time for you to see things as they are, not as you wish they would be. And I feel like somebody here, the time is now. It's time for you to see everything as it is and to love yourself anyway and be happy, to choose happiness anyway. You've got to ask your angels, seek the divine. Your angels want to support you. This has been coming out a lot this week, a lot. So I feel like you're supposed to be in prayer or meditation, whatever connects you to your source, whatever way you do that. I feel like you're supposed to ask your angels for help if you are having a hard time right now. All right. So, Gemini, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, and Jupiter. Let's find out what's going on with the tarot. And Gemini, I just want you to know that I've extended the previous sale that I had on. It was only till the 30th of November. I have extended it till the 20th of December. So if you are interested in 10% off of any of my services, please look in the pinned comment below this video. At the top of the comments, there is a code there, a discount code you'll need in order to book for 10% off. All right, let's find out what's going on. Freedom. Tell me about freedom for Gemini, please. We do have the Seven of Swords, which is really interesting because there is some denial going on here at some point. And the Seven of Swords is something that it feels something that maybe you had been keeping under the surface, not necessarily telling other people. The Seven of Swords doesn't have to be deceit or lying or any of that dramatic stuff. It doesn't have to be that. But the Seven of Swords is, this person's keeping it close to the chest, right? So it can be things that I've chosen not to tell people. It could be that. Tell me more. We've got the World card. The Desert Passage is here. Trust that there's a divine plan. So I feel like somebody is walking into the new year, because when the World shows up, it's the last card of the major arcana, which indicates an ending of a chapter. And so whenever there's an ending, say it with me, there's always a beginning, right? That the only reason something ever ends is because it is completed. There's nothing left more to do there. You've completed the task, completed the chapter, and we go through many of these in our lives. And it's time for something new to begin. So I feel like this trust that there is a divine plan tells me that something that you've been going through that's been really hard for you, Gemini, is about to come to an end. You've completed the task, or this is also an accomplishment, right? This is an accomplishment. Things are coming full circle for you. And it could be the end of the year, because as we move into the end of the year, it's the end of a chapter, right? The end of the year is the end of the chapter, in fact. So for some of you, it could be that. Tell me more about recognition and denial here. We have the Five of Good Cheer, which is the Five of Cups. So it does say here, failure to accept a situation. And it says unhealthy cycles or addictions. So I feel like somebody here was had a failure to accept that sometimes life gets hard, right? That sometimes life gets sad. That this is regret and sadness. It's hardship, right? It is a temporary place, but it is lack nonetheless. I feel like somebody here has been working really hard to close a chapter. I feel like somebody is now coming to an acceptance of something, because it says you had a failure to accept a situation. And I feel like this Five of Cups is telling me that you now have accepted it. That it does make you sad that it's over. The Three Cups, the party, the party's over. It feels like this is no fun anymore. But we do have a rainbow. You can see that there's a rainbow in the picture on the mantle here. And we do have the Two Cups that are still here. So, right here, we got the Two Cups that are here. So I feel like there is hope, but I feel like somebody's coming to terms with an ending, or the end of the year, or something that I wished would have happened and it didn't. It feels like somebody's coming to terms with some sort of an ending here. Tell me more. Tell me more about Gemini. We've got the Seven of Cups. We've got the Death card. Yeah, the ending is near. That's what it looks like here. And we've got the Eight of Swords. We've got the Emperor is in the reverse here. Very interesting energies here. So, the Emperor being in the reverse is the future energy. Bottom of the deck for me is always the future energy. So we're not talking about next week. which is what I'm reading for here. We're talking about the week after that, and we'll address that in just a moment. But let's take a look at what we've got here. So death is pointing at the world. So there is in fact something that's changing or something that's over. Transformation is taking place because of the end of something, or the accomplishment of something, or a milestone that you finally hit, because now you've closed a door. It might have been wandering in the desert. Take it as it resonates for you. But also, death is connected with this Five of Cups. So somebody's decided that they're no longer going to be sad or regretful about the way a situation transpired. It feels like somebody here may have been in some sort of a denial about a situation. But I feel as though transformation is taking place in this Five of Cups. And it is some sort of a sadness that I feel. A sadness, but I feel like it's ending or it's transforming itself. I love that death is sitting here between the Eight of Swords and the Five of Cups, because these can also be places where we can get stuck, right? We can get stuck in sadness. We can get stuck that the party's over, that things aren't going the way that I want to. The Eight of Swords is a place where we put ourselves, right? It is a place where we can get stuck in the mind, where we don't really want to make a decision. It's a place where you learn resiliency for sure, but it feels like somebody here felt like their hands were tied and that I just can't see a way forward. I'm scared I'm going to get cut if I move this way, if I move that way. I feel like death comes to bail you out. It is the major arcana, right? And so we see the major arcana as the world card and the death card, and we know that change is coming. There isn't anything you can do to stop the majors from showing up. These major arcana show up because change is needed at this time. So I feel like there is some change coming, but I feel like it's a good change because I feel like it gets you out of the Eight of Swords, the overthinking, right? It wouldn't be unlike you to overthink there, Gemini. I feel like what it's changing here, or what it's transforming or ending, is the overthinking about this place where you were stuck in sadness. Now, the future is the Emperor in the reverse. I feel like some of you are going to be dealing with an Emperor in reverse in the future energy. And I'm going to say, like, maybe it's not next week, but maybe the week after that. The Emperor in the reverse can be really anybody. But the Emperor in the reverse is somebody who is not paying attention to the wisdom that they have learned with all the kings. So this is someone who talks out of line, who's really rude. They don't really care if they hurt your feelings. This is somebody who is lazy. They maybe point fingers at everybody else and say, well, they didn't do that, but they're not doing it either. This is somebody who is subject to emotional outbursts. They don't really care what the people around them see them melting down. They're kind of, sort of cantankerous here. I want to say that this person could be showing up at your family gathering. We do have the Six of Pentacles here, but we see that somebody's giving gifts by the tree. This person could be somebody who shows up. Now, this person could be a father, a grandfather, an older brother, an older sister. This is somebody who's the head of the family. Maybe they own the home that you are visiting. It could be that, but we have the Six of Pentacles here. This is someone you've given to before. You've given them a lot, maybe a lot of grace. Maybe you've given them a lot of grace because of the energy that they're in. They could be part of your family. The Ten of Cups is here. Tell me about the Seven of Swords. It almost feels like somebody here has had a change of mind. After a confusing and emotional time, it feels like somebody is just waiting for the chapter to end. Whether that for you, that chapter is the new year, or maybe it goes further than that. But it feels like there's a hard time here. We've got the Eight of Swords and the Seven of Cups. And it tells me that somebody's up in their head thinking about emotional things that are very overwhelming, or this little snowman here has a look of concern on their face here. So it's almost like I don't really know how to proceed from here. It almost feels like that. Tell me about the Seven of Swords and freedom here. I feel like it feels like the Seven of Swords is a place where you're contained. And I feel like you're no longer going to contain something. It feels like you're going to bring it out into the open, but it's a freedom. I feel like you need to do it because it's something that, when the third eye opens, it's more like, how did I let that go on for so long? Somebody is putting a stop to something here. We do have the Page of Pentacles. We have the Wheel of Fortune. It's called the Wheel of the Year in this deck. This is the Yuletide Tarot. And we have the Seven of Pentacles. Look, I feel like you've been hiding something. That's what it feels like. I can see somebody hiding the gifts under the bed or being patient with somebody. Like it feels like you're going to have the freedom to be happy by divulging something that's going to change a lot of things, right? We do have the Page of Pentacles and we have the Wheel of Fortune. I feel like there's some sort of change coming up. It could take place at a holiday gathering, but it feels like you're about to say something. It feels like something's been brewing under the surface here. You're going to be seeing someone face to face. It could be someone's child for sure. It could be your child. Take it as it resonates. But it feels like here that there is going to be some sort of change that's showing up. And it could be a step forward or a step backward. Take it as it resonates for you. But it feels like there is going to be some sort of change that's showing up here that's been brewing under the surface, and it feels like you've been holding it down. The Eight of Swords and the Seven of Swords, I feel like you've been not saying something, you've been keeping it to yourself. I don't want to cause an argument. And look, you can never contain Gemini. Gemini is just going to say what they're going to say, and that's the deal, right? We do have the Seven of Pentacles, which tells me that you've been patient, you've been waiting, but you've decided you're going to take a new path. It's going to be a path that's going to nurture you no matter what everyone else says. I feel like your third eye is open. You've chosen happiness, and in order for you to be happy, you just got to be honest. And I feel like that's why the Wheel of Fortune's here. It's time for change. It's time for you to deal with things and express yourself. If you don't express yourself, you're going to get sick. Like when people keep stress in, when people keep quiet and don't say things, that's where your body begins to break down. So I feel like somebody here needs to be really honest, regardless of the outcome. But I feel like that the Seven of Cups is telling me that you're scared to say it because you know it's going to be, somebody's going to have an emotional outburst, possibly that Emperor in the reverse that we saw, right? All right, let's look at trust the divine plan, because I feel like this desert passage, it feels like you've been in a place where it's been arid or dry, or you've had no water. You know what I mean? I'm using metaphors, right? That it's been a hard path for you to travel, but I feel like that hard path is coming to an end because the World card is here, and you're about to release something here. We've got the Seven of Wands. We've got the Page of Wands. And we've got the Hermit. Okay. So it does feel like you've been on the desert passage by yourself, trying to find your wisdom. When the Hermit shows up, we go into this Hermit energy because it's for self-preservation reasons. And I feel like you've been on some sort of a spiritual journey. And it feels like while you were on this spiritual journey, there is some sort of spark of light or excitement, or I finally have the answer, or I finally found my light, because the Page of Wands is that little bit of spark, right? The inspiration. We do have the Seven of Wands here. I feel like up till now, you're a person who has been sort of behind the boundaries, in the background. I'm not going to say anything. I'm not going to do anything. And even though I know that you are Gemini, and Gemini would usually speak out, I feel like you've been trying to keep peace somewhere. That's what it feels like. But the Seven of Wands tells me you, although are feeling a little bit sort of burdened by whatever you've had to keep under the surface, I feel like the Seven of Wands is telling me you're about to stand up for yourself. That's what it feels like, because this spark here, that we've got the Page of Wands here, this spark, the child is reaching for this wand or this fire, right? And it is also in the hand of this person right here. So I feel like somebody is going to find their fire, find their spark, and say something. But I feel like it's going to be in the kindest way possible because of this Virgo energy here, because of this shamanic sort of spiritual kind of energy that you're showing other people. It may cause an ending. I'm just going to say it may cause an ending. It could, for some of you, be at the end of the year. It could be at a family gathering. Take it as it resonates for you. Tell me why the Eight of Swords is here, please. Eight of Swords and Seven of Cups. We've got the Four of Cups in the reverse. We've got the Star. Yeah, it feels like here that somebody is about to get up and say something. The King of Wands has shown up here. And the King of Wands is a person who's been forged through fire. This person is somebody who is, they've got 5 wands around them. So we've got 5 candles, or 4 candles on the mantle, 1 on the table. There it is, table. And the 5 wands is about holding back. because you don't want to get in the middle of competition. It feels like with the star here that the King of Wands energy is telling me that somebody is trying to soften or mute their fire. You might have a fire placement, and it might cause you to just blurt stuff out to people. And maybe you're trying to not do that. It almost feels like you're trying to keep yourself, this person here is tied down, right? Like hands are tied. Maybe if I don't look there, maybe if I keep my hands tied, maybe if I don't say something, but I feel like you're going to. It feels like whether this is happening over the holidays or not, y'all, I feel like somebody is about to say something to someone. And the Four of Cups tells me someone is coming out of their comfort zone in order to do it. And the King of Wands is going to get what they want. They're going to say it. They're just going to do it. They're brave. There's someone forged through fire. I've taken enough from you. Like, it feels like that sort of energy. Someone who's about to be very vulnerable, but they're going to say it in the kindest way possible. It's going to end your sadness. I don't know what it's going to do for someone else, but it's going to end your sadness. Tell me about this here. We've got the Magician. We've got the Lovers, and we've got the Hanged Man. It feels like this, y'all. It does. It feels like you have a different perspective on love, a different perspective. Like when we see the Lovers here, please understand that love can be romantic love. It can be that, but please understand that love is a vibration. It's not always an emotion. It can be a vibration. It's the highest vibration, in fact. And it says here, I love myself. It also says here that I understand that I can create my own happiness. I do feel like somebody here, a Gemini, has a different perspective on love or the feeling of a love vibration. It feels like somebody here is about to make a choice using the tools that they have, and I felt those tools right here, to end some sort of a rift or some, to end your sadness by saying something, by transforming the situation here. Because I feel like everybody was ignoring it. It was like it was the elephant in the room. We know that when grandma shows up and when auntie so-and-so shows up, it's going to be on, right? Ding, it's going to be on. But I feel like somebody here has decided, you know what? I'm going to transform the situation by saying what I've got to say in the kindest possible way. So the Emperor in the reverse doesn't lose their crap. I feel like this perspective change here is telling me that someone is choosing to change their perspective and is using all the tools, with the Magician being here, using all the tools to try and keep this situation under wraps, but also trying to live their authentic self, like being your authentic self. So I feel like you're going to say what you're going to say, and it's not going to be passive aggressive. I feel like it's going to be in the kindest way, but you're going to say it anyway, because the whole family or the whole situation or the group of people, they are all in denial. They just think that grandma and auntie so-and-so get on no problem, but it's because they can barely stand to be in the room with each other that they just don't talk to each other. Tell me what's going on here. We've got the Nine of Pentacles, we've got the Ace of Wands, and we have the Knight of Pentacles. So I feel like this is a long time coming. It feels like you're walking into a situation where you feel very confident. You're walking in very grateful. You're walking in gratitude. And I feel like you're very confident that this is a new beginning with whomever you're going to say your piece to. Tell me, and it could be because of love. Look, this could be, with the mistletoe being here, this is the Lovers. It could be someone that you are romantically connected to, that you're finally going to tell them how you feel about them. It could be that as well. Because of some sort of perspective, tell me what the outcome is for Gemini. Tell me what the outcome is for Gemini. We've got the Three of Pentacles, we've got the Three of Swords, and the Five of Pentacles. So it does look here like somebody wants to build on this, though. So I feel like you're going to say what you've got to say, do it in the kindest way, let them know that you just want to heal the situation. Can we go to the bedroom and just talk this out so the family doesn't feel uncomfortable? And it feels like somebody you've been disconnected from because of some sort of argument or fight, heartbreak, maybe disappointment of some sort. We're ready to build on it. Let's talk about it. Let's get it out. Let's get it out in the kindest way, and let's just build on it. We do have the Ten of Swords. That's releasing it. Let's just release it. And I feel like that's what the World card and the and the Death card are about here. It's time for us to just release the hard ending. Let's just send it back to the universe and release it. It's time for us to repair this. Get out of this lack energy. Let's stop being heartbroken or disappointed about the situation, and let's start to build something new. I'm going to leave it right there, Gemini. Thank you so much for being here and watching. I do appreciate you. I'll be back, though, because I'm always back. I do have a bonus read coming up for you guys. Thank you so much for being so kind and all the ways that you love in this channel. I'm out for now. Bye-bye.